This is Algebra 1, test number 4, study guide through sections 1.5. Number 1 says when simplifying an expression, you blank perform operations inside grouping symbols first. Grouping symbols are the P in PEMDAS, so please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. It always comes first. A as an apple. We're writing an algebraic expression for these phrases. The sum of G and 12. Sum means addition. G plus 12. The product of K and 8. K times 8, or better written 8K. 2 times the sum of F and X. 2 times the sum of F and X. You have to multiply F and X. I'm sorry, add sum means add F and X first. The only way to make it add F plus X first is to put a set of parentheses. So F plus X times 2 or 2 times F plus X in parentheses. Again, otherwise multiplication will be done first according to order of operations. Then 5 and 6 are the same thing. You just, instead of them giving you a letter to use as a variable, you're going to define your own. We'll use X to make it easy. 8 minus a number. 8 minus a number is the unknown. That's the variable X. The quotient of 10 times a number and 4. 10 times a number, that's the unknown, and it's the quotient of those and 4. So 10x divided by 4, or 10 times x divided by 4. 7 says the total cost to rent a rowboat is 14 times the number of hours the boat is used. Write an equation to model the situation if C is the total cost and H is the number of hours. So we have total cost. If we look at our verbal model, total cost equals per hour, the price per hour, times the number of hours. That's just a verbal model. That's all that is. So the total cost is what we don't know. It says let C equal total cost. So C equals the per hour 14 times the number of hours. So $14 times the number of hours is an unknown as well. It says use H for that one. So 14 times H. C equals 14H. Number 8, you're doing the exact same thing, except instead of them telling you how much it is per day, you just kind of have to figure it out going from one day to the next. If you look from day 2 to day 3, it goes up from 24 to 36. That went up 12. Notice it jumps up 2 days from 3 to 5, but if you look from 5 to 6, it goes up 12 as well. So it winds up being $12 each day. So when we model that, it says write an equation to model it. Again, here's your verbal model. The total is going to be the cost each day times the number of days. So when we plug in the correct values, C is the total cost. $12 we figured out is how much it is each day, and D is the number of days. So $12 times D. Now it says an equilateral triangle has sides of equal length. That's what equilateral means, equal sides. What is the equation for the perimeter of an equilateral triangle if P equals perimeter and S equals the length of a side? So we don't know the length of a side. We do know that each of them have S as their value. So perimeter is just the distance all the way around something. So it'd be S plus S plus S, or written better as 3 times S. 3 times S. 10 says write the fraction in simplest form. We know that the number 2 goes into both 14 and 30. 2 times 7 and 2 times 15. So when we cancel out 2 divided by 2, we're left with 7 over 15. There is no number that goes into both 7 and 15, so that's simplified. It says write 1 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th power using an exponent. There's count them up. 3, 4, 5 of them. So 1 to the 5th power. It says write 2.2 cubed, or to the 3rd power, in standard form. So 2 times itself 1, 2, 3 times. It's not 2, 2.2 times itself 3 times. And then when you multiply 2.2 times itself 3 times, 10.648. 10.648. 13 says 0.04 times 8.6. Don't need calculators for stuff like this. 8.6 times 0.04. Just multiply 6 times 4 and you get 24. 4 times 8, you get 32. You have to add 2 to it. You get 34. So 344, but you have to move the decimal once for the top number, as I have it written, twice for the bottom number. You have to move the decimal 3 times. So 0.344, 0.344. Then adding fractions. Remember, for fractions, the bottom number has to be the same. You have to have a common denominator. The smallest number that 12 and 9 both go into is 36. You have to ask yourself, what do I have to multiply 12 by to get 36? 3. So you multiply 5 times the same 3. You get 15 over 36. Do the same thing. What do I have to multiply 9 by to get 36? The answer is 4. So multiply the top by the same 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Now we have a common denominator, 36. Add straight across 15 plus 12, and you get 27. So you have 27 over 36. The number 9 goes into both of those. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4 is 36. Cancel out 9 divided by 9, and you're left with 3/4. 3/4. Do the same thing with number 15. You need a common denominator. They both go into 8, which is convenient. 4 times 2 is 8, so multiply the top number by 2 as well, and you get 4 over 8. Minus 1 over 8, we didn't have to change that. When the bottom number is now the same, you subtract 4 minus 1, and you get 3 over 8. Multiply straight across for fractions. 2 times 1 is 2. 8 times 9 is 72. The number 2 goes into both. 2 times 1 and 2 times 36. Cancel out 2 divided by 2. 1 over 36. For number 17, says 5 over 6 divided by 3 over 2. Time you divide fractions, you take the second fraction and you flip it. 3 over 2 becomes 2 over 3, and division becomes multiplication. Multiply straight across, or you can realize that you can cross cancel the 2 and the 6 in the denominator, or in the numerator and the denominator. 2 goes into itself 1 time, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. So you're left with 1 at the top of this fraction and 3 on the denominator of this one. Multiply straight across at this point. 5 times 1 is 5. 3 times 3 is 9. Number 18 says write as a decimal. 4 over 12 means 4 divided by 12. 4 divided by 12 gives you 0.4, 0.4. Running as a fraction in simplest form, 0.36 is the same thing as 36% because you move that decimal over 1 times, 2 times to the right. So percent means per hundred. 36 per hundred means 36 over 100. The number 4 goes into both 36 and 100. 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 5 is 100. And 4 divided by 4 cancel out, leaves you with 9 over 25. For number 20, it says write it as a percent. 0.64, move the decimal 2 times to the right. 0.64 becomes 64%. For 21, 6 divided by 7 is 0.857, 0.857. Move the decimal 2 times to the right. It becomes 85.7%. 22 says find the greatest common factor of the numbers 12 and 40. The factors of 12, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. Your factors of 40 are 1 and 40, 2 and 20, 4 and 10, and 5 and 8. The greatest common one is the largest one that they both have. Notice both of them have 4. So your GCF, or your greatest common factor, is 4. For least common multiples, that's least is the smallest one, that when you use the multiples of the number, in this case 25, when you count by 25s, 25, 50, 75, 100, it keeps going and going. You count by 20, it's the same thing. The smallest number, or the least one that they have in common, is 100. So your LCM is 100. When you find in the perimeter of a rectangle, the lengths on both sides are the same. So 8 feet on the left would be the same 8 feet on the right. 5 feet on the bottom would be the same 5 feet on the top. So your perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. It doesn't matter which one you call length and which one you call width. The longer one's usually the one I choose to put in for width. In this case, it's 8. So 2 times 8 plus 2 times 5, the width. That's just substituting in given values. When you multiply 2 times 8, you get 16. When you multiply 2 times 5, you get 10. 16 plus 10 is the perimeter. That's just a step multiplication. You multiply because of order of operations. And then the last step, you simply add 16 feet and 10 feet, and you get 26 feet. And again, addition last because of order of operations. Number 25 says a car travels 459 miles in 8 hours. Find the unit rate and round to the nearest tenth if necessary. So we have a distance measurement of 459 miles. We have a time measurement of 8 hours. What we don't have is a unit rate or the speed. So we're looking for R. R is equal to D over T. Remember, you can remember that formula because looking at your speedometer in a car, it's miles per hour. So your speed or your rate is miles per hour. Your first step, you just substitute in the values, 459 miles in place of D and 8 hours in place of T. So that's just substituting in given values. The next step, divide 459 by 8 and you get 57.375. It says round to the nearest tenth. So the one right after the decimal is the only one you want to show, the only digit, but you got to look to the number right to the right of that, 7. If it's 5 or greater, you want that 3 to go up to 4. If it was 4 or less, you would leave it as 3. So 57, it rounds up to 0.4 miles per hour. An athlete runs, for number 26, an athlete runs a 700-meter course in 127.3 seconds. Find the average speed of the athlete. Round to the nearest tenth. Again, rate is equal to distance over time, just like the last one. Plug in your values, 700 meters in place of D, 127.3 seconds in place of T, then divide 700 by 127.3, and you get 5.4988 meters per second. But again, round to the nearest tenth. So that 4 either needs to round up or stay the same. 9 tells you to go up. Your rate or your speed is 5.5 meters per second. 27 says evaluate u plus xy, for u is 4, x is 6, and y is 6. In place of u, you plug it in 4. In place of x, you plug it in 6. And in place of y, you plug it in 6. So 4 plus 6 times 6 is substituting in given values. The next step, multiply 6 times 6, multiplication because of order of operations. Then you finish it up, adding 4 plus 36. Again, order of operations tells you 40. 28 says a pair of shoes costs $44.99. The state sales tax is 3%. Use the formula C equals P plus RP to find the total cost of the shoes. C is the total cost, P is the price, and R is the sales tax rate. First thing you want to look at is the sales tax rate. It's a percentage, 3%. You want to multiply that, but you can't multiply by the number 3. It's percent, which means per 100. You have to move the decimal over 2 times to make it 0.03. After that, you just plug in or substituting in given values. In place of P, $44.99 2 times, and in place of R, 0.03. C is the unknown, so we'll put in a value C, or we'll put in the variable C. Then just multiply 0.03 by 44.99. You get 1.3497. That's just multiplying in order of operations. And then the last step, you add that to 44.99. 44.99, and you get 46.3397. That's just adding order of operations. You know we're dealing with money, so we can't go past the hundredths place. So that second digit 3 needs to determine, that 9 needs to determine if that 3 goes up or not. It's 5 or greater, so $46.34 is the total cost. Evaluate the expression AB squared when A is 6 and B is 5. Substitute in 6 in place of A and 5 in place of B. That's in parentheses, so before you do exponents, you have to multiply 6 times 5, substituting in given values. 6 times 5 is 30 squared, then do what's in parentheses. That's actually doing what's in parentheses to get 6 times 5. Then evaluate your exponents. 30 times 30 is 900. 30 says you can use the formula C equals 5 over 9 times F minus 32 to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius degrees. What is 81 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius? Round your answer to the nearest tenth. So C equals 5 over 9 times, instead of F, we're substituting in 81 degrees. So 81 minus 32. Do what's in parentheses first. 81 minus 32 is 49. So now you have 5 over 9 times 49. Every integer number like 49 is considered over 1, so we can multiply straight across. 5 times 49 is 245. 9 times 1 is 9. When you that's just multiplying because of order of operations. When you divide 245 by 9, you get approximately 27.2 degrees Celsius, converting from Fahrenheit to Celsius. And we'll continue with part 2 for the remainder of our study guide. Look for the second part of the video.